So we need to be able to find a movie item ID of an available movie. And we need to do this given the movie ID and the movie type. So to figure this out, I'm not going to do this inside the function. I'm actually going to go create a new query and get my select statements working before I start putting them in the function. So I know that I need a movie item ID, and I get that from the movie item table. And we're given the movie item, right? What the movie ID is, not the movie item, sorry, what the movie ID of the movie is. And we'll just go ahead and use some. We'll just say it's 2. And we know that will be sent as a parameter. And the type is equal to, and this either needs to be a B or a D. Now I'm getting lots of squiggly lines. And why is it saying this? Movie items invalid, movie item IDs invalid. Those all look valid to me. This may have to do with we're not set up to use the right database yet. So I'm going to go ahead and say let's use purple box and see if that helps us work better. Oh, and look, got rid of all the squiggly lines. So we need to make sure we're in the correct database when we're doing these statements. So now we're going to execute that and see what we get. And here we've got 3 movie items. Well, that tells us how many movie items we have of movie 2 that are Blu-ray, but it doesn't tell us which ones are available. So how do we find out if they're available? That's actually in the rental table, right? So let's go ahead and look at that table, the one that has the rentals. So I'm just going to look at the top 1,000 rows, and there's a list of all the rentals. So which one of these are active and which ones are not? So notice how all of these, the movie item has been returned. But on all of these where the return date is null, those movies are gone. And we can't actually, they're not available for rent, right? So if we go back, we have 6, 8, and 10. So if we look here under movie items 6, 8, and 10, and none of those are in that table. So that means all 3 of these are available. If we choose another movie, let's say that we want to choose 5 and of type DVD, and we execute that, we get 22 and 24. And if we go look in here, 22 and 24 are both currently checked out, right? They're currently being rented, so they're not available. So notice how what we need to be able to do then is we need to be able to get a query that tells us if these are available or not. So let's create a query that gets all of the movie item IDs from rental. And now the ones we're worried about are where return date is null, because these are the ones that are not available. So if I execute that, that tells me which ones are available. So that tells me that 22 is not available, but 6 is, because 6 is not in this list. So this is the ones that are not available. So we can use this. I'm going to copy it and take it over to our other query. And I can say we need to select a movie item from movie ID where movie ID is equal to 5 and type is equal to D, and so there's one more thing, movie item ID is not in this list of ones that are unavailable. All right, so it's not in there. Okay, so this gets all of them, and then this one says, but they're not in the ones that are currently checked out. And so this should give us the whole thing. So let's see what happens here if we run it and we get none. All right, what about if we change it back to the 2 and the B and we execute it and we have all 3. Now we only need 1. 3 won't work for us. So since we only want 1, let's go ahead and do top 1 up here. We just put top 1, and that will, let's see how that works. There, we use the top one. That gives us one movie item ID, is exactly what we need. We just need one that's currently available. And now we have our select statement that will return a movie item and that is available.